Recording will be starting in just a minute here. All right, there we go. Good afternoon. Today is Friday, January 27th, 2012. We're going to go over the trades we took this morning, the trades we didn't take, the trades Dwayne took. I didn't get filled on trades, but Dwayne did get filled. Now I'll show you. These are Dwayne's results this morning. He had 8 ticks here on the ESH2. Dwayne had 8 ticks there, and and over here, I believe, yes, right here on the YM. This is the YM H2. Dwayne had 25 points on the YM. Okay, I didn't get filled on the trades that I tried to take on the ES and on the YM. There was one ES trade I took, but it was an error, and I got out at break even on it. But let me just scroll back here to the beginning. Okay, scroll back to the beginning of time. All right, now as the market was opening up here, we were watching and waiting for the BBC to get outside the box. When it finally did get outside the box right up here, this is the trade that I took in error. I went long right here, but we didn't have a fresh bubble. We needed a fresh bubble down here. Now a bubble is when the red lines get outside the black lines, and once that happens, the first pullback to the BBC is usually good for a bounce. The BBC for the CFRN trade, though, needs to be outside the box. Was this good for a George trade? I don't know if that was 3 ticks. Possibly. Price turned around. There was a George trade right in here. I marked it with orange because I didn't take it, but one of the partners did take it. This, you had to round it to get it to 3 ticks outside the box, so it was a questionable trade to begin. At best, it was a questionable trade, but he did get 8 ticks out of it. He got two full points. I didn't take that trade. Okay, the price turned around. You can see it was just going sideways here. We were stuck in a 5-point range almost all morning. I mean, even right now, we're from 307 up to 1375, so we have a 6.5-point range, 6.75 point range. Sometimes that's good enough to trade in. Unfortunately, today it did not allow for trading on the 4-tick range. You see, the BBC was never getting outside the box here. I was waiting for it to get outside the box, and this is the first exit of the box that it's had all morning. Right here, we actually have we need a fresh bubble before we would go short here. We would need a fresh bubble because this did not go inside, so it has not reset. After the bubble started right here, this was the pullback to the BBC, so there's no trade here either. I drew these trend lines in here this morning. I'm moving over here now to the 10,000 contract chart. That obviously was choppy as well this morning. If you were going for less than 2 points, then a pullback here to the BBC would have worked out fine that way. A pullback here would have probably given you a point down there. Now I'm saying the pullback after the bullish cross here, a pullback to the BBC, and after the bearish cross here, a pullback to the BBC. After the bullish cross here, there was no way this was giving you anything. After the bearish cross here, this gave at least a point. Then it crossed up again, bullish, and it gave a point there. It crossed down bearish, and it gave a point there. Okay. In today's range, taking 2 points out of the market in today's range was difficult. It was not an easy thing to do. As a matter of fact, the way that Dwayne did it this morning, was over here on the 2100 tick with the naked MA1. All right, and he was doing it on long trades. We had 3 long trades this morning. One of them right here when price moved up above and pulled back to the BBC. That was good for 2 points. Another one right here, price moved up above and pulled back to the BBC. It was good for 2 points. And another one right over here, where price moved up above and pulled back to the BBC, and it was good for 2 points. All right. Right now, we don't have anything. Yes. Today was a challenging day to trade. I didn't get filled on any of the trades that I tried to execute this morning. If we jump over here to the YM, this was one of the trades that Dwayne took this morning. He mentioned it to you already, but the pullback up here to the BBC is what he shorted. I didn't short this. I had originally had my order on, but it had filled a window of opportunity before it pulled back up, so I didn't leave my order on. Dwayne did because he was thinking the the weekly trading zone right there would give it the resistance that it needed. And it did. Now, I only use 7 or 8 ticks risk. Dwayne uses 20 on his YM trades, so he would have stayed in the trade. He did actually stay in the trade. I would not have. I would have gotten stopped out if I would have taken that trade. I didn't take it. Dwayne did, and he got profit on it. He exited the trade right here, not all the way down here, but right here. You can see this trend line that I had drawn in. I had drawn this trend line in before there. I had drawn it in back here. But you could see price did move down to that trend line, bounced up off it, right back up to the zone, off the zone again, down to that trend line, and now it's just chopping around that trend line a little bit right here. All right, so right here you can see we have a bearish cross right here, bearish cross with a pullback up to the BBC, and it dropped down from there. Okay, it's pulled back up to the BBC again, but I like the first pullback. Okay, I like the first pullback more than the follow-up pullbacks. All right, and that is what we had on the ES and the YM this morning. All right, I want to show a little bit of something to everyone, for that matter. I'll bring something over here. This is the 6E, the euro. We discussed in last night's partners meeting another way to take some points out of the markets. Given that the markets have been really flat for the month of January, we discussed some ways to take some points out of the markets last night, and this was one of them. It's one of the indicators that we've always had. I just showed people a different way. I showed the partners a different way to look at it. In this case, the green right here would have been the entry position. All right, I actually shorted up here. There was another one right here that's not marked. I shorted right here, and it stopped me out to the tick, and then it dropped down as we had anticipated. There was another one over here, a long, another long right in here. Was there a short in here? No, there wasn't, because by the time it closed below the MA1, the white was on the opposite side of the green and headed in the wrong direction. There was a long opportunity right in here, another short opportunity right in there, another long opportunity right in there, and right here there was a short opportunity that is actually still stretching out right now. Okay, I would say if you didn't get stopped out of that trade, I would take the risk off the trade at this point. The euro is really quieting down right now. Okay, the same theory, same logic over here. This is the British pound. Just want to go over that a little bit with you. What we were looking for in this case, we could have gone long right in here for that move up, long right in here, short right over here. I'm just scrolling back. I don't mean to skip anything. I should probably start from this way and go forward, but just scrolling through it so I can show you guys stuff. That was that. Now let me show you the same thing, just the Russell 2000, for instance. As we go through this, you would not have all this stuff on here, all the stuff that you see on here right now. All you would really have on here would be the MA1, just this blue and red line, and you would be looking for opportunities like this right here, where the white goes up. You look for a close above the MA1 and a move up. The same thing happened right here. It wasn't as big of a move, but it was a big enough move. Okay. On the downside, this one right here would have been a failed trade. Okay, a trade that didn't work out. But this one right here would have been a very nice winning trade. Over here, another winning trade. And this was all stuff that we went over in the partners meeting last night. For those of you guys who are partners who did not make it into the meeting last night, it was a great meeting. We went a long time. We showed lots of stuff last night, lots of stuff, and hopefully we'll get that thing out onto the website today or tonight, so we can, so you guys can all look at it and review it over the weekend. Okay. Let's see. What else did I want to show you? I think that's it. I think that's enough. again, this is going to be this is a recap, and so this is going to be out on the website as well. Okay. I have to sneeze. But we ended the day. Let's just bring this up. Dwayne had 8 ticks profit this morning on the ES and 25 on the YM. All right, I didn't get filled on my my ES or YM trades, or I didn't take profit. I was break even on the ES. I had 1 trade and I was break even on it. And the YM, I didn't get filled on any trades. Okay. Yes, the partners meetings, Charles, we do them every Thursday night, and yes, they are recorded, and we have 45 of them now that are out in the members area for you to go back and review. There is a ton of information out there, just a ton of information, and the partners have really been stepping it up and contributing. So I think it's it's exactly what Dwayne and I wanted. We wanted to have a community where everybody contributed, and that is exactly what it is now. All right. I'm going to stop the recording here, and